5 OMAD hunger tips, guaranteed to make your OMAD fasting protocol so much easier, so much more enjoyable. Arguably, OMAD is one of the hardest fasting protocols to adhere to, at least at the start. So the number one most effective hunger tip I have for you beginning your OMAD fasting protocol is just making peace with the hunger pangs. You're gonna have to do it. And it's gonna take at least a week before your body gets into this rhythm of accepting 1 meal per day, but it is totally worth it. The way you make peace with hunger pangs is by reminding yourself that that uncomfortable sensation is the OMAD working. That is the magic. Systems in your body literally waking up. You're awakening processes that are normally dormant, and it is not always the most comfortable thing. The reason it's a number one tip for me is because when I feel that hunger pang, it's the same feeling you get when you go for a run or you go to the gym. You have that uncomfortable feeling of muscle burning or lungs burning, and you know it's working. You don't get that feeling by sitting on the couch, but by sitting on the couch, nothing happens. So make peace with the hunger pangs, and the easiest way to do that is when you feel that feeling, saying, yes, I did it. I did it. It's good to feel this feeling, and I want to keep feeling this feeling because that means what I'm doing is working. The thing that I want to happen, the thing I want to trigger, the processes, which is shifting the body from burning the continuous stream of food I put into it all day into shifting the body into burning the stored fat. And at first, these uncomfortable sensations of hunger pains, there's a bit of a mind game. Your mind plays all kinds of tricks on you. The classic, oh, I'm starving myself. Well, for sure, if you have visible fat reserves that you are trying to eliminate, you are not starving yourself by doing OMAD. Quite the opposite. I find after 4 to 7 days, I have more energy. I feel better. Second OMAD hunger tip, and this was a game changer for me, is apple cider vinegar. Try and get organic apple cider vinegar if you can. Try and get it in a glass bottle. This one comes from Costco. Regrettably, it comes in plastic, but it is the best tasting one and it works the best for this tip. Mixing apple cider vinegar to water in a ratio of 50-50. I would say no more than 1/4 of a cup at a time of pure apple cider vinegar to 1/4 of a cup of water. So that's half a cup. And for me personally, if I have a hunger pang that, just this hump that I just need to get over, I will have 50-50 mix of apple cider vinegar water, and my hunger pains are annihilated for 45 to 60 minutes. And it works every single time. Highly recommend trying that. The only thing is it can become a crutch. So going back to tip number 1, you want to make peace with the hunger pang, but if it is something that is going to stop you from doing OMAD, definitely explore apple cider vinegar. Third OMAD hunger fasting tip seems counterintuitive, but it is extremely low intensity cardiovascular activity. For example, walking. If I feel just insanely hungry, doing OMAD, obviously you eat 1 meal a day. I either eat first thing in the morning or first thing before I go to bed. I actually do prefer eating before bed because that helps me sleep. So the hunger pangs usually come on first thing in the morning and then later in the afternoon. Going for a 20 to 30 minute walk, even just around the block, it just is a complete game changer. It gets the circulation flowing, it oxygenates you, it gets your mind off of food, it gets you out of the house, and for me, it kills hunger pangs for hours. The one caveat, you must keep it low intensity and you must keep it short duration. Otherwise, it will kill your hunger pangs, but it will come back full circle in a couple hours and make you feel hungrier than you've ever felt in your life. So you've got to keep it low intensity, you've got to keep your heart rate low, and you are just going purely for fresh air, purely for the distraction, purely for just the good feeling of being outside. OMAD hunger tip number 4, black coffee. Now this is like a last line of defense is hunger tip number 4, and that is a hot cup of black coffee. Obviously, do not put anything in it. It must be black, and caffeine just kills your appetite. It just does. It works really well. But I do the other 3 tips first, and if that's not working and I'm just feeling miserable and I just can't deal with it anymore, then a black cup of coffee is the last line of defense, the last resort. Tip number 5, dealing with OMAD hunger pains, eat lots of high quality fat and protein in your single meal. Sloppy OMAD, which is just eating whatever you want for your 30-minute window, your one single meal. If you eat like that, then the hunger pains I find are so much worse than if during my eating window I have clean food. Fish, if you do want carbs, brown rice, steamed broccoli, steamed beans, steak, chicken, but high quality organic stuff and high quality fat, tahini, sesame tahini, high quality oils, avocado, leafy green vegetables, kale salad, all that kind of stuff. All those clean things that if you eat, regardless of a fasting protocol, you feel amazing. If you combine that discipline with OMAD, you have a recipe for super fast weight loss and just a complete 180 in energy. Here is a bonus tip. And this is something I found that exacerbates my hunger pains on OMAD, and that is drinking lots of water. Specifically, a lot of water at one time. I did experiment with trying to fill up my empty feeling stomach with a whole bunch of water. So you drink like 4 or 5, maybe even 6 cups at once. It expands your stomach, so you get rid of that sensation, the uncomfortable sensation, just for a moment, but then I think your stomach expands to that level it's used to being at when it was full of food, and then when it contracts, oh my God, it's horrible. So by no means am I recommending not drinking water. Obviously, drinking water throughout the day is healthy. I'm just saying try and stay away from using water as a means to feel full, because that is, for me personally, is not something that has ever worked very well. Just a glass of water every hour, on the hour, you know, or when you're thirsty, right? I do find lower hydration levels when I'm on OMAD feel a lot better than constantly drinking. And I think it's because your body doesn't need as much water because it's not trying to constantly process and digest all this food that you're continuously eating throughout the day. So there you go. Those are the 5 things that I use for OMAD to completely neutralize my hunger pains. And they work every time. And like I mentioned at the start of the video, I think OMAD is the best way to get lean and ripped and preserve your muscle mass. I think it works better than 16 and 8. I think it works better than 20 and 4 because those forms of intermittent fasting, at least I found personally, do not get me as lean or as ripped as OMAD. There's just something about OMAD mimics a short extended water fast. It really does. For me personally, it's like a daily mini water fast, and you get the benefit of that, but you're still getting enough nutrients that your body is not burning muscle for energy like it does after the first 48 hours of water fast. It preserves all that muscle you work so hard to build, and it just shreds you. Please let me know in the comments if you have any other tips that you use for your OMAD. I'd love to hear them. Thanks a lot.